Williams?
Here, present.
Okay. Commissioner Diaz?
Yes.
Commissioner Lyons?
Here.
Commissioner Farrow?
Present.
And Commissioner Roach is here. For the record, we have a quorum. I'm getting a little feedback.
Commissioner Martinez is here too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you in the corner there, Commissioner Martinez. Thank you. Okay. Again, we have a quorum. First item would be the acceptance of the minutes of the regular board meeting held on May 13th. Actually, what I'll do is I'll entertain a motion, unless there's any questions or comments, to combine items B, C, and D, the regular board meeting and 2 special board meetings. Is there a motion to combine and accept?
So moved.
It's been moved by Commissioner Lyons. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
And it's been seconded by several. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The next item would be the report
Aye.
from the Chief of Police. I don't see the chief on the call, but I do see our Assistant Chief Capozzi is here. Are you here covering for the chief tonight? Chief Capozzi, you're on mute as well. There you go.
Sorry about that. I'm having all types of difficulty.
Okay.
Yes, I'm covering for the chief.
All right, sir, the floor is yours.
Well, I apologize. I'm covering for the chief, but what am I here to discuss?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did the chief, we usually get a report from the chief, and he covers usually an array of things, whether he's got recent statistics, anything happening with the department that he mentions. But if he hasn't given you anything,
Well, I got some things.
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off. A couple things that the chief is doing, and I apologize. I'm not well prepared. I do apologize. We have if everybody doesn't know, the recruit class is in. I think there's a total of 32 recruits, 27 are for Bridgeport. I don't have the demographics, but a good portion, I believe 9 of them is the number I had, are from Bridgeport, which is good, or at least from the surrounding area. The chief is going to start up his walking beats. It's a group of officers that are going to be selected in certain areas that are going to be detailed to walk throughout the city of Bridgeport. He has certain areas that he's going to have that. I've been walking myself in the afternoon, so you may see me on Stratford Avenue at the Gardens or the Trumbull Gardens or the Green Homes. As the areas in East Main Street, I know his walking beats. 2 of them are going to be on one's Stratford Avenue, one's East Main Street, and the other one I forgot. Stacy may know. There's one more walking beat where he's going to have people. The other thing is that we have some monitoring. Well, not some. We have a system here where we're monitoring the overtime, and I was placed in charge to see where all the money is being spent, meaning what units. And I am here to say that the vast majority of our overtime from inside is coming from just backfill positions for the most part. But other than that, I don't really have anything else to report.
Thank you, Chief. Does anybody have any questions for Chief Capozzi? Commissioners all had the I'm sorry, Commissioner Martinez, please go ahead.
Yeah, when he said backfield, what is that like? I'm not familiar with what backfield is. Just so I can get familiarized with it.
Yeah, no problem. I apologize. Backfills, we're shorthanded, so we're filling vacancies because we're short in patrol. I don't have the exact number. I don't want to give a wrong number. So when we're hiring patrol officers, or even in the Detective Bureau, this is what where I'm in charge of. We're down anywhere from 10 to 12 detectives, and a lot of it is it's from manpower is where the overtime is coming from. It's lack of. So patrol, we're down some vacancies, and that's where the overtime is coming from.
Thank you. Understood.
Okay, now that's a good point. So you're saying that the overtime is mostly to fill patrol slots, and it's the men and women that are doing that job are the ones that are being afforded the extra time.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chief Capozzi? Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Chief, for
Thank you, sir. Thank
for
you.
coming on. I think all the commissioners had a chance to hopefully had a chance to meet our new assistant chief, who I know I've been working with him on several issues, and so far I'd have to say so good.
Well, thank you. Well, if any of the board members ever wants to contact me, I can give you my contact information. I know I speak fast, but it's my cell phone is 203-581-5114. I'm sorry, that's I'm sorry. It's been a long day. 203-583-2379. 203-583-2379. That's my cell phone. I could be reached at frank.capozzi@bridgefortct.gov, and looking forward to working with everybody here.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. Okay, I don't see anybody from the union here this evening. Internal Affairs is not due for a report this month. And we have nothing extra from our department clerk for a clerk's report. Is that correct?
For this month, yes. Let's hope for the same next month.
Okay, very good. The next item on the agenda is a discussion regarding tractor trailer signage around multiple locations. I believe with what was emailed to you along with the agenda, there was an attachment from Joe Estefan, who we've been working with to handle the issue that the city's been having with tractor trailers parked overnight in various locations of the city. There's been quite a bit of progress in addressing that. We've even had several tractor trailers that were ultimately towed, and it seems like the situation is improving. And I had asked Joe for a list of locations which he's provided. He refers to them as hotspots around the city. Most of these are underneath highway overpasses and whatnot. And we've been provided with a list that he's recommended for sign placements, and these signs basically just say no truck or tractor trailer parking allowed. And he's given several locations. So as you know, the commission has needs to approve all sign installations. So it is in front of us now, and I'm going to open up. Anybody has any questions or discussions on that before we vote? Does everybody get a rough idea of? And I was hoping I explained it properly, but this is something that is going to continue to help with this situation, and also give tractor trailer owners some fair warning.
Did we get a copy of?
Yeah, you were. It came in the email along with your agenda, all the different attachments.
My apologies.
No, that's okay. It's there. I mean, I could read them quickly. Laurel Avenue and Waite Street, Island Brook.
Oh, no. I have the list. I was just wondering.
Oh, okay.
No.
I got you. All right.
Yeah, I have the list of where we're going to put them. I was just wondering what the signs would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the signs are gonna be simple enough. It just, no tractor trailer parking or truck parking for that matter.
Excellent.
Okay,
All right.
Commissioner Roach, I thought are they going to say in the evening or, because I thought they
no,
could.
this is period. I know overnight is the issue and this kind of addresses that, but even though, the complaints come because they're parked overnight, Commissioner Williams, the sign is gonna say no tractor trailer parking without designating evening or whatever.
Yeah, because I thought we had discussed that, and I don't know if it was in the ordinance or that they can park there during the
The
day, but
ordinance
not
that they cannot
overnight.
park, I mean, there's no overnight parking for commercial vehicles, but the ordinance also addresses tractor trailer parking, period.
Okay, all right, I just, yeah,
But
because I know.
and for the most part, they're going after the ones that are left overnight.
Overnight, right, that's
Yeah.
what I thought. That's why I think Hector might have been asking also
Yeah,
about
but
the sign.
but the sign's not gonna address times or anything like that. Okay.
All right.
Any
All right.
other questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay, there's been a motion to approve the locations by Commissioner Diaz. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by several. All those in favor?
All right.
Are there any opposed? Okay, motion's been passed. We're gonna move on to old business. And first item under old business was a request that has been tabled. And it was made by Councilman Boyd, who wanted the board to reconsider a decision regarding McKinley and Lincoln. He had put in, if I recall correctly, he had put in a request for an all-way stop. And the city traffic engineer suggested that I believe it was a no parking 25 feet to corner to improve the line of sight, as opposed to that, which the board approved. Councilman Boyd was not at that meeting, but he did request, he wanted to not only address the council, but request that this board approve his original request. Councilman Akeem, did I kind of get that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll give you the floor if you want to kind of give us your background on this.
All right. So I went back to the site and I will agree. Okay, maybe a stop sign there won't be appropriate. I can withdraw that request and I'll just shoot for speed humps.
Okay. Speed humps on Lincoln or speed humps on McKinley?
Lincoln Boulevard.
Okay. Have you put in a request yet for the speed bumps on Lincoln?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So the no parking here to corner signs, they haven't gone up yet.
No.
No. Okay. So we can check, or actually the clerk, Lieutenant Lyons, you can check with Powell and tell them those signs are in fact approved, and to make sure that they're on the list, and also explain to him to keep an eye out for a request from Akeem Boyd for speed humps at that location on Lincoln.
Yes, Councilman Boyd, I'll also send you an email because it takes some signatures and stuff like that. Send you an email, all
Okay.
that.
Thank you guys so much.
Good. Okay, Akeem. Anything else? Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Akeem. Okay, moving on. We have a request that was tabled for a handicap parking sign at 941 Kossuth Street. The city traffic engineer recommended denial based on the availability, excuse me, of off-street parking. And the way I understand it, I think the applicant said there's only room in the driveway for one car. And they have two cars. It was kind of a simple explanation at her request. Again, my apologies. I don't have it in front of me who actually made the motion to table. Do any of the commissioners maybe recall the reasoning for us tabling that?
I think it was, they wanted to figure out whether it was a 2-family house or a 1-family house. That was on Kasuth Street.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's why it got tabled. They wanted to confirm whether it was a 2-family or a 1-family house. That's all I recall.
Yeah, so that was if they were able to park in the driveway. That's what we were wanting.
That's right. Yeah, but she didn't give an indication that she wasn't allowed to park in the driveway. It was just one spot that was available, and there's a second car, and you know, of course, if that's the case, the person who is handicapped or has trouble getting around would probably have dibs on the driveway, I would think. Okay. So we haven't determined if this was a 1-family or 2-family, even though the application said that there were no restrictions on the driveway.
Right.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
if you pull up Google Maps, it does show 2 doors with 2 separate entrances and a fence that kind of goes in between. So like a separates one entrance from the other entrance, and on what looks like 941, there is a driveway right in front of the door.
Right. And the driveway appears to only have enough room for one car? A
Yes.
short driveway? All right. So, I
One
mean, that
car.
part at least is correct.
Yes.
But- And my question is, if there's 2 cars in the household and one person has a handicap sticker, like I said, I think they would have first shot at the driveway, I would think. But any other discussions, thoughts, questions from the commissioners?
Commissioner Roach,
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at the Google Maps. It does look like a duplex because you got 941 on one side and 947 on the other, but again, there's just one driveway and it doesn't look like it's very deep. It looks like it's just enough for one
Right,
car.
just enough for one car. I do
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
Lieutenant, could you possibly reach out to confirm whether or not the applicant has access to that driveway?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Ask for a landlord letter stating if she doesn't.
Right, thank you. I appreciate that. I know you got enough on your plate, but if you can do that, that would be great. Unless there's any other questions, entertain a motion to table that until we hear back.
So moved.
There's a motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, next item, under old business. There is a request from Maureen Cummings regarding the traffic engineer's office not to approve the multi-way stop sign, Maplewood Avenue and Lenox Avenue. This was also tabled at last month's meeting. I know Maureen and her husband, I'm assuming, are on again. And we had a somewhat lengthy discussion. They made their point. We also had I think the chief kind of chimed in and said when he goes through that intersection, he gets his light going just to make sure that he's not going to get hit on the side. Commissioner Farrow made a point also that pretty much every other intersection in that area is a 4-way stop. which would leave, I think, most people to believe if they're traveling there, they're just going to assume every intersection is a four-way stop. And I know, I believe Commissioner Williams made a motion to table that. And Commissioner Williams, do you recall the reason for the table? It's not in our minutes.
I had wanted to go by and confirm the busyness because they said there was a lot of children and, you know, it was really
Gotcha.
the busyness. And I'm gonna say, when I went through there, and I did go in the morning and I went like towards the evening, and maybe it was a day, I don't know, but I did not see the traffic that heavy over there. So that's why I went through. I went in the morning, like they said, because the kids are getting on the bus and things like that. So I went about 8:30 and I didn't really see the heavy traffic that they were saying. And then I went back towards the evening just to confirm, you know, the busyness. But I did not see it as heavy as it was. And the stop sign, you know, and I think not for, you know, it could be the reason why the traffic wasn't flowing, because the traffic, you know, the way that that street is set up. So I did go down and come, you know, both ways. So I don't, you know, and again, I can't speak for the chief and I can't speak for, you know, the parties who are petitioning to, you know, uphold the agreement of the Parks and Rec, but I didn't see it as busy as, you know.
Okay. I'll ask the other commissioners if any comments on that. Commissioner Farrow?
Yeah, I think that wasn't the only issue. I think hold on a second. I think it's because it's a straightaway. And people have a tendency to speed down there. It's not just because of the congestion or amount of traffic. It's a speedway at that point, especially when you don't have a stop sign. I think stop signs break things up or intend to break things up. And it's just interesting to me that every other corner has a stop sign except that one. So I'm inclined to put a stop sign there.
Well, that's why I said I think the traffic was not as heavy or speeding because of that. That's what the time that I went.
Right.
So
I
it wasn't
understand that.
anyone speeding.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. I didn't see the speeding.
And I brought up a point that, I mean, every other four-way intersection in that immediate area has four-way stop signs.
Right.
So it's almost a question of if you're stopped there and another car is coming, you think that person's going to stop before you go, and you know that could cause problems also. Any other comments from the commissioners before I ask the folks that are on the call if they'd like to chime in? Okay. Anybody else would like to speak on this? Ms. Cummings, would you like to add anything?
I appreciate that everybody, you know, understood what we were talking about last meeting. And I think the points were made. We did just recently have another accident on that street. Another thing that people do instead of just going straight through very fast is they turn around that corner very fast. They just whip right through it. There's no stop sign, so they go right around the corner. If you're parked there, a lot of people get hit, and that just happened recently to one of the neighbors, Eris Mendy, who is a neighbor on Lennox. His car was parked right on the corner, and they came down. They took that turn very fast and went right into him. And, you know, we talked to him, and he said, I just avoid that intersection at all costs. And I think that's what most people in the neighborhood try to do. There's also Lucinda Berry, who is on this call as well. She's also a member of the Neighborhood Watch. I know that she has been working on this with Eve Parson for many years. And I don't know if Lucinda wanted to add something to this. So I wanted to just ask her if she wanted to speak on this.
Does any of
Yes,
the,
yes.
any of the commissioners, she's not on the agenda, but any of the
Oh.
commissioners have any issue? No, it's okay.
Okay,
I just want to make sure none of the commissioners have an issue with Ms. Berry saying a few words.
Oh,
I think we're good. Okay. Please go
Thank-
right ahead, Ms. Berry.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you, Maureen. I do want to add that I do live on Lenox Avenue, and we have been trying to work with Scott Burns and Matthew in regards to getting a stop sign for several years now. And although, unfortunately, Ms. Williams, you didn't see it at the time that you did go to the area, I live on that street. I pass that street every day. I actually used to work at Bryant School. That's 2 blocks over. It is a very busy intersection. And there is actually that bar on the corner, Mickey's. I know they recently sold. They're going to be opening and expanding. So that's more congestion at that corner. So a stop sign is very much needed, or something is very much needed. Again, I go through that street every day, and it is a busy intersection. And if even the chief of police has to put on his lights to go through the intersection, that says a lot in itself. So, I definitely would like to see the stop signs before we go up at that intersection.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Berry.
you.
And for what it's worth, I did receive phone calls from both council people from
Thank
the
you.
district lobbying for the 4-way stop as well.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay, I'll open up the floor for any motion.
Make a motion to accept the petition for the 4-way stop.
Okay.
My apologies.
No, that's okay. Just for clarification, Commissioner Diaz, the motion will be to deny the request of the city traffic engineer who recommended not to approve. So in fact, we will be approving the 4-way stop.
Okay.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to approve the multi-stop. Is there a second?
second.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, are there any opposed? Okay.
Aye.
There's one opposed. I believe the vote is 4 in favor, 1 against. Therefore, the multi-way stop at Maplewood and Lenox is approved.
Sir, quick
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Thank you, folks. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Commissioner?
Yes.
Quick question. We also originally approved no parking here to corner at that intersection. Are we going to keep that along with the 4-way?
I would defer to the city traffic engineer, but I would recommend, and it's also that's a tough area for parking. And since it's a 4-way stop, that would eliminate the line of sight issue at those corners. So my personal feeling is, and the commissioners, if you want to, please let me know if you think differently. My personal feeling would be to take that request out, or take that approval out. If you can inform the city traffic engineer that it's no longer necessary.
Okay,
Okay, fair enough.
clarifying. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, then, moving along, we have no correspondence, no letters of appreciation, and no matters concerning widow's pension this evening. So we'll move on to item 8, which is the city traffic engineer's recommendation. There are several items that he is recommending approval of. The first 2 are handicap parking signs that have met the criteria. The third is the installation of 6-meter parking meters on both sides of Golden Hill Street before Main Street in Middle Street. just to comment on that, I mean, every other area of downtown has meters. This section had been set aside by Steve Auerbach, the late Steve Auerbach, who was proposing a change in the meters downtown to kiosks, similar that the city of Hartford has, which had been very successful. That I'm imagining has been kind of left on the wayside. Meanwhile, whereas there's metered parking on pretty much every area downtown, there's none there. So that the request is to install meters at that location as well. There is a request for the installation of a no outlet sign on 10 Montgomery Street. That's in Fairfield Avenue in Black Rock. And the rationale for that is if you coming in from Fairfield on Fairfield Avenue and you take a right on Cortlandt, which would give you access to the St. Mary's by the Sea area. A lot of vehicles are making a quick right on Montgomery Street, thinking that it'll give them access to St. Mary's that way because it's closer to the. They think I guess it's the closest way to get to the water. Although it's not a dead end street, there is no outlet from there, so cars usually go down and they have to turn around, and it's a congested street to begin with. We allow parking on both sides of the street due to the high number of multi-family homes. So hopefully a no outlet sign will address that problem and hopefully correct it. And the last one is a no parking zone sign at Grover's Avenue in Cortlandt. This is a T intersection. There's condominiums on one side of Grover's Avenue. And the other side is where Cortlandt Avenue ends and intersects, or doesn't intersect, which ends at Grover's. So it's a three-way stop. A lot of it's a busy enough intersection. Both streets have a good amount of car traffic. The problem was it's at the three-way stop. It's tough for cars to turn, and it kind of it bottlenecks things to a certain extent. There's no parking usually allowed on the opposite side where a T intersection meets, and it does require our approval to place no parking signs on the side of Grover's Avenue opposite Cortlandt, so cars can turn in and out onto Grover's or onto Cortlandt. So I just wanted to lay out all items. And does anybody have any questions or issues with any of those items?
I have a question. You said that there's condominiums over there?
On Grover's Avenue,
No.
there's the brick condo. Are you familiar with Grover's Avenue?
Yeah, but what I'm saying, what my question is, and they're asking for no parking on one side?
Just by the intersection.
Right, but I again, my concern is people live there, right?
Mhm.
And if you're going to take away one side near that intersection, that's going to take away from people parking.
Where the condominium itself has plenty of parking. I believe they have 2 parking spots for each unit. Certain condominium owners that live on the street on occasion park there. I can just tell you from experience, if you take away just a few of those spots at the corner, it's not gonna cause any hardship. And there's usually just,
I mean, I'm-
yeah, no, I
I-
understand. There's
I'm
usually
sorry.
just a handful of, I don't think we're gonna be putting anybody out. There's usually just a handful of cars parked along the side of the condominium to begin with. I think what this will do is just keep them away from that intersection.
Now, I'm just concerned with, people parking, right?
Mhm.
And they say we're short on parking anyway, and now we're gonna take away a
Right.
parking, and then we're gonna put another sign up. And, that's my concern. If the
Yeah.
neighbor, and I get it about taking those corners, and even with the one on Maple Wood, right? I'm just saying this, and you can agree or disagree. A stop sign is not gonna stop anyone's car from getting hit.
Well, you could argue that it might stop some.
Yeah, it's gonna stop one. It'll save one. It'll
Mhm.
save one.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. When we're thinking about these decisions, we have to be consistent in our decisions and what we're making across. That's just my point.
Mhm.
If we're gonna do it for one, we're gonna do it for all.
Well, they've already have a three-way stop sign at this T intersection. So
Right.
the stop signs are there. The problem is when you have cars parked on both sides, cars cannot enter onto Grover's Avenue from Cortland if there's cars waiting. And I see it myself. I live 2 blocks away. There'll be 3 different cars at the same intersection, and there's no room for one car to take a left-hand turn from Cortland onto Grover's because the car to the immediate left of them is waiting for them to go, and there's no room to get around them when there's a car parked there. At the end of the day, Commissioner Williams, we're talking about 3 parking spaces, and parking spaces aren't necessarily at a premium in that location.
But obviously they're needed because people are parking there.
Yeah,
I
well,
can agree with
what I'm trying to say to you is that there's a pretty decent stretch of Grover's Avenue that the condominiums are fronted on.
Right,
And
but I'm saying it may not
it's never full of, there's usually just a handful of cars that are parked out in front because the condominium does provide parking where the overwhelming majority use the secured parking that they have there. There's only usually just a handful of cars. So the cars are never lined up from end to end. So
No,
if we take away, let me finish, please. If we take away the 3 parking spaces on Grover's Avenue at that T intersection, it's not going to provide any hardship whatsoever for folks to find parking.
I hear what you're saying, but obviously someone's parking there, and it may not be the people who live in that condominium, is what I'm saying. It could be other people in the neighborhood are parking there.
The rest of the houses there are single family houses. And anybody that lives on those corners, very rarely do they park alongside Grover's. There's ample parking on the side streets on the front of their houses. There's all the houses near at that intersection or near that intersection. The ones that face Grover's Avenue have parking around the corner. Their driveways are located around the corner. And if they need extra space, there's plenty of spaces on the side street. There's never been an issue with too many cars being parked on Grover's Avenue. It's just a question of where they park. And if they can't park at the intersection, there'll be plenty of room for them to move up 15 feet or whatever they need to do.
Okay, so can't we just go with the no outlet first and then determine if that's gonna be needed?
I think there's not a question. No outlet is a different location.
Okay, because that's what I'm saying. You did all this.
Yeah, no outlet is
confused.
No outlet is for Montgomery Street.
Okay.
No parking zone is for the T intersection, Grover's Avenue and Cortland.
Okay, that's why I was confused because I heard like multiple things.
Yeah, my apologies. I was going one at a time, and you may have kind of tied the two
like
together.
it was all one.
No, and my apologies for that if I wasn't
That's
clear
why
enough.
I was like, that's a little bit too much for that one little
Okay.
area. That's what I had said, but
Oh,
yeah, okay.
no, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't realize you were thinking the two were combined. They're not. Two different
Okay.
locations.
Okay, when you said it was like run together, so that's why I
Okay,
was like,
well, my
okay.
apologies again if I
No
wasn't clear enough.
worries. I'm gonna pull my stuff up and follow you.
Okay. Is there, is any other questions on any of those items on the agenda? Okay, hearing none, if I'll entertain a request to combine those items and approve if the board is okay with that, or if the board wants to vote on those items separately, whatever your pleasure is.
I so move to vote together.
Okay,
I make a motion to accept.
motion to combine and accept the request of the city traffic engineer to approve those
All-
items under 8A.
Yes.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Seconded by several. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Are there any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Any other business? Any other items to bring up? Okay. All righty, Chief Capozzi, thanks again for being with us. Best of luck moving forward. Dolores, nice to see you,
Thank
even
you.
though you're not on the screen, but thanks for all your hard work.
Because I'm driving.
I saw you behind the wheel and I saw you looking down. I was going to caution you to keep your eyes on the road, but you obviously took care of that yourself. And Lieutenant Lyons, thank you so much for all your hard work and extra work and juggling everything, all your responsibilities. It doesn't go unappreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right,
Great part,
guys.
by the way.
Unless there's anything else, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
So move second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Oh, it looks like Commissioner Lyons is opposed. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Lieutenant Lyons was opposed.
No, I was supporting.
Just waving goodbye. Okay. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Get out.